Jai Guruji, we continue in the series of satsangs that we have had in English, and I'm really excited to get back at this. There has been, it has come after some time, and what I'm going to say, you perhaps have heard it before, but the context is different. So I hope it makes sense in a very different way. I did mention that there was a time when I was looking for a job, and this job was offered to me by an American defense multinational in 2003. And then, for some reason, somebody else moved in for about 9 to 10 months. He couldn't join, and then they came back to me again. He said, Commander Sharma, are you still ready to join us? And I said, certainly, I'm happy to join you. Even though I personally didn't like the idea of somebody offering a job and then giving it to someone else, I said yes. And then someone else stepped in and he got the job again. In this whole process, it was 2005 and somewhere around October when they came back to me again and said, Commander Sharma, apology for all that has happened, but are you still okay if we offer you the job? So I wasn't really happy. That's not the way you treat a potential chief executive of your country office. But it was too lucrative to let go simply because you didn't like the way you were treated. And I said yes, but then decided that I need to have Guruji's blessings before I join this because there's something which is not adding up here. I couldn't speak to Maharaj because I was too scared to be even in his presence. The aura and everything else was just too overpowering for a mortal like me. And like I've said before, I always envied those people who could who could joke with him, who could stand next to him, who could talk to him, and do that like Guruji is another human being. I just couldn't do that. So I spoke to Singla uncle, and Singla uncle said, uh, "We have to do this before Maharaj changes into his kind of official chola, and so come at 7:30, and then we will see how his mood is, and if he is in a pleasant mood, then we will break the subject with him." So we choreographed it and then decided that uncle is going to talk. I'm going to just keep quiet because I knew I will not be able to open my mouth no matter what. And I knew this from previous experience when I had gone to Maharaj with the invitations for my daughter's wedding. And I stood in front of him and wanted to tell him, Maharaj, this is my daughter's wedding visiting invitation cards. Please, this is for Sangat. And then Guruji asked me, yes, and I couldn't say a word. Finally, he only said, leave it here and go. It was that difficult. So I came at 7:30 early, and Maharaj was on his in his sports dress, sports shoes, sitting on the kitchen cabinet, and we stood there. Uncle said, "Guruji, Commander Uncle is trying to shift to this job," and then I just kept my hands folded, couldn't speak, and Maharaj closed his eyes, paused for a few seconds, then looked at me and said in Punjabi, "तेनू job ਦੀ ਲੋੜ नहीं है, तू मेरे कोल आ जा," which means you really don't need this job. You come to me. I didn't understand the significance of this word. I did not realize what Maharaj meant, the depth of what he meant. What was on offer was something phenomenal. Maharaj is asking me to come to him. I stood there. I wish I had not. I stood there as if saying I didn't get the answer I was looking for. And Maharaj realized it. Then again paused for a while and then said, "All right, go make your money." And that was that. Felt happy and relieved. That was Saturday. And Monday I got this call from the India office of the company. Said, "Commander Sharma, can you join us now? Your appointment letter is ready." And then I realized that this job wasn't coming to me because Maharaj didn't want it. He didn't want this job for me. He had different plans for me. But because I stubbornly insisted on what I wanted, he let me have it. But then he was talking to some other Sangat and made a mention of this, that he has offered this job to Commander Uncle, and then says, "I have given him 4 years." This came to me through a very close friend and colleague of mine uh, from the Indian Navy days, Commander Vimal Nagpal, and he said, "Guruji said I have given Commander 4 years." So I had this nagging thought that Maharaj may have meant he's given this job to me for 4 years, because he said this in continuation of the fact that he has given me this job. But the sentence could also mean that I have 4 years of life. Me and my wife both felt that way, but we never really discussed this job. This issue never really got discussed between us, but we both knew what Maharaj said and we just prepared ourselves accordingly. And then, towards the fourth year of my employment with this company, everything went wrong, both on emotional front, on my health front, and on the work front. People who saw me at that time once mentioned that I give them the impression that I'm like a walking dead, and I would ignore. I'm a reasonably safe driver, but I used to bang my car even during parking process. And a point came where I stopped getting that car repaired because I just wanted to just go through this. A point came when my auntie prayed to Guruji because we were now in 2009. Maharaj had already moved on from his physical form to his natural form. So she just prayed and said, Maharaj, whatever your plan, but the daughter is completing her engineering in 2010. At least, can we hold on till then? Whatever your plans, they should be deferred. And 10th of May 2010, she had written her final exam. And 14th of May, I quit that job. Maharaj had foreseen this. And that was perhaps the reason why he wanted me to be close to him, doing what he wanted me to do. And therefore, he advised me against that job, but I still took it. And 15 days later, I moved into another assignment, which was a country head position of another US defense entity at a much better package, but without ever asking for it. I didn't ask because I realized that I made the mistake of insisting with Guruji what I wanted, and I will never repeat it ever again. I had learned my lessons, but 4 years had gone, and I was there from the moment. So I also knew that Maharaj's blessings have happened, and I have, if I can say in those terms, been extended in my existence by Maharaj because I was now ready to do what he wanted me to do. But this thought never left me. What it would ever mean when he said, You come to me. And I used to think about it. What is it? If I had accepted and not contested his directive, I would be with Maharaj in whatever form, in whichever way, and there could be nothing better. And I have since then thought about being with him and what would it mean. And if I am not there now, how would I make corrections, adjustments, and get there? I had heard this from senior Sangat. The Guruji had many times mentioned that he has come from light and that he will return back to light. I had also read Lord Krishna telling Arjun that this entire universe is illuminated by a fraction of the grandeur of the God Almighty. Just a fraction. And that He is the light. And when Guruji said that I have come from light and he goes back to the light, I realized that Guru is the light, that fraction of which powers this entire universe. And I had also read somewhere a prayer in the Vedas where it says, "O Lord, take me from darkness to light. Take me from darkness to light." So when Guru said, "Come to me," he, in all probability, as I understand, was telling me, "I will take you from darkness that you are encountering here to the light, which is me." And then it just hit me hard, and I have never stopped regretting for a long, long time the fact that I took that job rather than the seva at Guru's lotus feet. However, after I took this assignment, I started getting some seva nevertheless. And at one point, he blessed me with this name and designation called Commander Uncle, and a directive that I should work to get Sangat, or should I say, to get people to become his Sangha through satsangs. Something I have continued to do till date. So if if I had to get back on track, what should I do now? What should any one of us do to get to Guru? How do I make correction? How do I make amends to that decision of mine many years ago? There is to be a bhajan played at Empire State, and that bhajan, one line during in that bhajan was, "साडे गुरु ने जहाज बनाया, आओ जिन्हें पार लगना." Translated to English, it meant, "Our Guru has made a ship. Anybody who wants to get across, come on board." And I felt the the option is not closed as yet. Guru has made a ship, and we can board that ship. Now the question came, how do we get on that ship? And I used to think a lot and a lot. You could take it as a very simple devotional song, or take it as an offer, the offer that I refused many, many years ago, an offer that remains valid because the Shabad is valid, and the Shabad was played, the bhajan was played at Empire State with Guru's approval. And anything played there with Guru's approval, every word of that had to be accepted as Guru's words. And this was Guru's word. Anyone who wants to board the ship, come on. And so I set about thinking, while continuing my seva to the best of the ability that Maharaj blessed me with. Many people took this seriously. I'm not the only one. A lot of people felt as our religion taught us, as our scriptures taught us, that to achieve anything, you must do karma. Something has to be done for something to be achieved. And the great Saint Tulsidas wrote in Ramcharitmanas, a religious book of Lord Ram. It said, and I will say it in Hindi first, and it says, Karm Pradhan Vishwa Rachi Rakha, Jo Jehi Kare So Tehi Fal Chakha. Translated to English, it means this whole world is work specific, karma specific, action oriented. The whole world has been created action oriented so that you get the fruits of your karma. If you do good deeds, you get good results. If you get bad, you get bad results. So to get on board that ship, something needed to be done. And as people understood, as Maharaj allowed them to understand, people have gone about doing this. Getting on board the ship is like getting connected to Guru. And people have tried to connect in as many ways, in as many processes as they deemed fit. So, and and it is from very nice actions to something absolutely ridiculous and outrageous. You have this complete spectrum of what people can do. You heard that phrase from ridiculous to sublime, or sublime to ridiculous, as they say. Everything. And there are as many preachers who think they know it all to as many listeners. And now you have endless advices as to how you get connected. And this has given result to all kind of processes, all kind of activities. And that can include WhatsApp. You get messages a day. You have your message box full in the morning because everybody has found a way to communicate how to connect to Guru. You can get all kind of knowledge from WhatsApp University today. But it only made sense to the point that you read that. But the great Tulsidas continued, and at one stage he advises, and let me just read it, and it says, Hani labh jivan maran yash apjas vidhihat, which means that no matter what you do, your actions can be there, but whether it is going to profit you, or you will end up losing something, or you're going to live, or you're going to die, you will get rewards, or you will get punishment. It is not in your hand. All you can do is act and leave the result to God, because He will decide. So from action and reaction, you have moved to action and nothing. You can do what you want. It is His wish that will prevail. And suddenly people, when they realize this, if they do realize, there's no point doing these weird things trying to get to Guru. And then, even for action, there is a couplet which you read subsequently, and it goes about this: Hoi soi jo Ram rachi rakha, का करी तरक बढ़ावई सका. It means even the actions will happen according to what God has decided. That means your actions are also not in your control. Even your, so not only the result, but the karma itself in his control. And there is no point getting sad or happy about it. Don't extend your sorrow by thinking about it, because everything, everything is his control. You control nothing. In fact, you're nobody. No amount of rituals, no amount of processes, no amount of methods of getting to Guru will get you there. The only thing that gets you there is his wish. He decides. And when he decides irrespective of your karma. So with that, I felt I'm at point zero. I'm where I started from. Because that question remained unanswered. How do I get to Guru? When Guru said, you don't need a job, you don't need to work, you come to me. And here now, as a look at me, I'm now trying desperately to get back to that situation where that offer will be valid again, which I hope and I'm sure it is. But now I have to work to get to that point. And work doesn't help. So what helps? Not long ago, I was hearing this satsang from by Sabina Kocharanti, and she narrated something beautifully. She said Guru once told her, if you hand over control of your horse to me, I will drive it straight. Your horse means yourself, your mind, your soul, everything. If Guru said, effectively means give yourself to me and I will take you straight. Where? To me. So there was this realization, only if I hand over control of my life, myself, my soul, my heart, everything to Guru, then he will take me to the ship. And on that ship, I will go from darkness to light. I will go from here to there, and I will be with Guru. So the problem was a little solved. It was not so bad. Now I knew the destination. I knew the vehicle, and I knew what I had to do. The only thing was how to hand over control to Maharaj. Process will not help. Nothing amount of process is going to help. But what do you do? So I had read this in Gita a long time back, and in a dispassionate way at that time, without giving much thought and credence to that, and says, when Krishna said to Arjun, you leave everything and come to me, then I will absolve you of all your karmas. Which meant in this position, to hand over control to Guru, I must give up everything else. Because Unless you quit everything else, you cannot come to Guru. You cannot hand over control to him. And I used to, so the question now was, how do you give up everything? And once you are free from this baggage of karma, then you are qualified effectively and ready to be on the ship. साडे गुरु ने जहाज बनाया और जिन्हें पार लगना. Our Guru has made this vessel, and anybody who wants to come across with him, come on board. And now we knew that you give up everything. And there was a Shabad which was played in Empire State, which exactly meant that. Which let me first say it as it was. एक तकिया भरोसा तेरे चरना का, बाकी सबे ढाइया ढेरिया. O Lord, all I have now is trust of your lotus feet. I had demolished every other support that I ever had. So the clarity started seeping in while I continued to do my seva and all worldly chores. This realization was sinking in that you may not know how to get to Guru, but you should be able to know how to give up everything else, demolish every support. And if even if we did not know how to demolish that support, Guru again came to this in another way. He said, yes, don't ask, just accept. And then I thought, okay, if any support that I ever had, and once I reject that support, I will never ask for that support. I remember when we built a temple in Sector 56 in Gurgaon with Guruji's blessings, and I thought I must go to that temple also. And Guru read the mind, and I got a call from Singla uncle in the evening that very day. Tell Commander, he will not go anywhere else. His place is here. He has to come here. He has to come to me. Now, coming to Guru, like in the beginning, I said, continue to be the operating clause of my life. Come to Guru. Give up every other support, every other hope, any other rope by which you can possibly hang. No, only Guru. And so I stopped going everywhere else. My Guru, his lotus feet are the only support that I will have. And once Guru knows this, that if I did not take care of this child of mine, then nothing will happen, because I will not do and he will not go anywhere else, because he has demolished all other support systems. And once Guru knows I am your only support, he will never let go of you. And then he will take you, hold you by hand and take you on that ship. So before you accept Guru, reject everyone else, everything else, and then look at him and just hope that he accepts you. But don't even have this expectation that he will accept you. But be there. Should he decided to have mercy on you out of his love for you, just be grateful. And one of the best thing that one has come to realize over a period of time is that Guru will do what Guru will do. You can only fret about it, you can only cry about it, or you can only laugh about it. But hoi soi jo Ram rachi rakha. There's no point arguing because whatever His will, it is going to happen. So you may as well accept. If you accept it happily, so much better for you. If you don't accept it happily, it is still no choice. And Guru told me, I don't need to do anything. I have to just come to Him and He will do everything that is required to be done for me. So, what is the option that we have? And how do we give up? This entire thing was clear. When you start getting this connection, there, there has to be that inner calmness in you. But there's something more that happens. You stop wearing your connection with your Guru on your sleeve. You don't have a drum and that you stand on the top floor of your building and beat it from there and shout that I have got connected with Guru and that this is the way you connect. You must go quiet, you must go silent, and you must be peaceful in the thought that I accept my Guru and whatever he desires for me and he has willed for me completely, totally, without any if and but. And this if and but happens only and only when you apply your mind. And Guru says, leave your mind outside at the shoe stand before you come to me. Because if you don't leave your mind, you will never be able to accept what is being given to you. I did not leave my mind. So my mind told me, don't accept this offer, take the job. If my mind wasn't working and I wasn't trying to see what is good for me and what is not good for me, and I had left it to Guru, wouldn't that have been so much better for me? And but it didn't happen. I went through what I did. That was long time back, and in 2017, I get an email from a colleague from Australia saying, RK, are you all right? And I replied back, yes, I'm fine. What happened? And then she said, I had this weird dream, and a lot of people gathered, and they're talking about you, but we can't see you there. So, are you okay? And I said, yes, I know what you mean, but I'm absolutely fine. And that was more than 3 years ago, and I'm still here. And that gave me that realization. Then, in all probability, I lived my life and I'm here and continue to be here because my Guru is with me and I'm doing what Guru wanted me to do. I'm at his lotus feet, I'm in his seva, and as long as I do what he's decided for me, or as long as I continue to obey his will, everything will be fine. I will conclude this with Just one little story from Mahabharata. When after the war was won, Krishna wanted Arjun to dismount from the chariot, and Arjun refused, and he said, Lord, you do not know the rules. The, the one who drives the chariot gets off and helps the warrior dismount. So you please get off this first and then help me dismount as a victorious warrior of this war. Krishna said, fine, I understand the law and the rules, but I suggest today we do as I say. You get off first and I'll get off later. Arjun dismounted and then Krishna, and as soon as Krishna was off the chariot went up in flames, reduced to ashes that instant. And then Krishna said, if I had allowed you there and dismounted myself first, you would have been dead and gone for good with the chariot. This chariot has been destroyed long time back. It has been destroyed by the onslaught and the weapons that it has faced from the worthy warriors of the opposition, like Karn, like Bhishma, like Dronacharya. But the chariot stayed the way it was because I was on it. We live in this chariot, and this chariot, as long as the control has been handed over to Guru, like he said, give the reins to me, I will drive it straight. As long as the control is with Guru, as long as Guru drives this chariot and Guru is on board here, you'll be fine. Just like Arjun, you'll be fine. It doesn't matter how much destruction it has faced, because as long Guru is there, you are all right. Just make sure, even though you will go about doing things that you have to do, the control is always with him, and that you always submit yourself to his wish. You don't need to do anything. There's nothing to do except focus on Maharaj and let him do whatever is required to be done. In that case, it's a promise of Maharaj that he will never let go of your hand. Never. He's Shiva. You don't need to be good. You don't need to be worthy to be with him. You just need to be in love with him. And he has to know that other than Guru, you have no alternate support system, nowhere to go. And then Guru is yours and you are Guru's. Jai Guruji.